The last rune in the older Futhark is the Odal. And the Odal represents your connection to the land and your right to the land of your ancestors. That connection and the right to the land was so important to my ancestors, the Vikings, and the people before them, that they had a rune representing that right and that connection. But in the modern world, you are not supposed to own anything of real value. And most young people now will never own an apartment or a house, and they will never own land. The Vikings had a term for a man without land. He was a landlaus man, a man with no land. And he was a vulnerable man. He was a man who would be dependent on other people, or he would be just roaming and not being able to stay in one place for very long. So land was essential back then, and I believe it is essential now. But of course, the powers that be, the elites or the system, whatever you want to call it, they don't want you to own land. They don't want you to feel that connection to your heritage and your ancestors and the rocks under your feet, you know? And why is that? I think the answer is really simple. A man without land is much more vulnerable, is much more dependent on other people, the system. And that's what I want. Oh, usually do that on the first one. That's the goal. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to be able to grow your own food. They don't want you to be able to keep chickens. They don't want you to be able to collect rainwater. Because we are moving into a much more controlled kind of culture and society now. I don't like that, because I like freedom. And there are people who say that, well, to be free, you shouldn't own anything. I disagree. I think that if you don't own anything, you become dependent on other people. Now, I can hear what you're thinking. Most young people now, they will probably never even own their own apartment or a house, because of the economy, because of how things have become. So how can I sit there by the campfire and talk about owning land? It's completely unrealistic. Actually, maybe it isn't. And I will offer a solution if you keep watching the video. But it's important that we understand. Now, first of all, we understand why is it that we're not supposed to have that Odal, that connection to the land and that connection to our heritage. It's something I have talked about quite a lot recently here on my channel. And please subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button if it's for free. Because I think that this connection is important. If you now look at the UK, I think the UK is the best example right now of a place where people are being removed from their heritage, disconnected from their heritage. I mean, the UK is the only country I know of that where the flag, the national flag, is seen as racist. How crazy is that? People are being incredibly mistreated there by the government, and any sign of that connection to the heritage is being crushed. Now, of course, the older Futhark and the Odal predates Viking Age. Actually, the letters used for writing during the Viking Age is called younger Futhark. But in this context, that's not very important, I think. What is important is that we need to understand that we are moving back towards feudalism. And I know some historians will react to that and say that, no, this is not feudalism. Feudalism was different. Yes, different. But we need to understand that when they take away your ability to own land, to own a place where your roots can dig into the ground, if you know what I mean. When you can't do that anymore, and when you can't really own anything of real value, you're just a consumer. And a consumer will always be dependent on the person who produces what you are consuming. Contrast that to the Viking Age bondi, the free man, the farmer. Life was maybe quite hard compared to our standards, but he had freedom, and he had the freedom to develop his land, to make new fields in a woodland area. Whatever he wanted to do, whatever he felt that he could do, he would probably do it. I know I'm not a Gen Z. Believe it or not, I'm not Gen Z. But I often think about what was stolen from younger people. The ability to have land where you can just grow some potatoes or keep chickens, I think that if not a human right, it should be achievable. I mean, if you can't grow those potatoes, if you can't own land, are you a free person? Are you really free if you don't have the ability to own anything, of real value? If you can't connect to the land, even if you're shamed for your heritage and your ancestral connection to the soil under your feet, if you're shamed for that, are you really free? This is nice. Skål. Yesterday I came back from a long hike up by Vassfaret here in Norway. It's brutal terrain. There was another hiker there who broke her leg, actually. Brutal terrain, but very beautiful. Very beautiful. I will have a video about that on my channel, Bjorn Outdoors. Now, I need to inform you that there is someone on TikTok stealing my videos and using the name and profile picture of my I have 4 in total YouTube channels, and I have one called Bjorn Talks. I'll probably upload this video here on both Bjorn Talks and Bjorn Andreas Bull-Hansen, my main channel, using the collaboration feature here on YouTube. But a lot of people think that that's me, Bjorn Talks on TikTok, but it's not. It's someone stealing my stuff and making money from it. So I'll leave a link to that account or channel in the video description. I will also leave a link there to my TikTok account or channel. Yeah, I don't like TikTok, but Yeah, okay, let's continue with the video. I believe that owning land in this day and age is an act of rebellion. Owning land with the intention to keep it is a middle finger. It's like it's called flipping the bird, right? To the government, to the system, to the powers that be, to the elites. It's like saying, I don't care what you're saying. I don't care. I will build my future here. This is the land of my ancestors. And if it's not the land of your ancestors, then what you're saying is that I intend for this land here to become the land of the ancestors for the future generations. So how do you get hold of that land if you can't afford it? Well, there are organizations now where people come together and they buy land together. And then, as far as I understand it, what they do is that they make sections out of that land that they bought, and each member of the organization, so to speak, gets his or her own section. I will leave a link in the video description to an organization like that in the UK. Some of you may have heard about it already, and I think also what you get there is a community, a sense of belonging, and that's something that we need in this so-called modern life, where people are so disconnected and unhappy, you know. So I'll leave a link there in the video description below. I often come out here and I just sit by the campfire, and I wonder why there are not many other people here, because this is so nice. And I understand that most people, they just sit at home and they watch TV, and I think that's really sad, because I think it's out here on the land, that's where the real world is. I want to invite you to be part of this tribe. I want to invite you to, in a way, sit here by the campfire with me, and you can do that by clicking on that subscribe button. Leave a comment as well. Do you think I'm wrong in what I'm saying here? Do you think that a person will be more free without owning land? I guess there's an argument to be made for that as well. And I'll get back to all of this in future videos. I upload videos at least once a week, every Saturday. So yeah, I'll just finish my my cup here, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? And until then, there will be other videos that you can watch. They will pop up here on the end screen, so check out one of those. Okay, thanks for spending this time with me. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.